G16 Sport, a new platform for Speedway fans. Hundreds of videos, the latest action on demand and free to view. Plus, the Speedway show, Dishing the Dirt. Check out the pay-per-view section for upcoming live streams. Browse Speedway merch and other awesome items in the online shop. Join G16 Nation. Scroll through your newsfeed, post photos and videos, join groups and connect with the Dirt community. Visit g16sports.co.nz today.
Welcome along, everyone. Wednesday evening. Welcome to Cockpit Racing and Media. But tonight it's Cockpit Media, and we've got a special guest joining us not too far away. But as you can see, I'm Reno Wilkinson. Kins are online with me, my good friend Craig Booker, who's always calling our racing on Sunday, but not last Sunday. Hey, Books.
Hey, mate. No, we didn't have any big races last Sunday because we finished our series. But on the weekend, we did have our 10-year get together finally with all the cockpit guys, all the cocks, so to speak. Anybody, if you're watching there, just let me know if the levels are too high for Kins or too high for me, and we can adjust it as we go. But yeah, we did a live presentation of the trophies. Mental ran away with Richie's, so but it was all good though. It was a great time, great night, and those trophies were fantastic. We have decided that our next series will be Superstocks. Sorry, not Superstocks, Street Stocks. A post will go up soon, so any Street Stock drivers out there that do some racing will need to get a hold of us once we get that information out there, Kins. But
Awesome.
we did do some Superstock fun for people to watch the other night. It was a bit of humour. Yourself was a bit sick with your COVID still, so you couldn't make it with us, but it's awesome.
Yeah, no, that's cool, mate. You know, and you take a look at what you spoke about briefly over the weekend that just went, Queen's birthday weekend. Some of our members from the South Island flew up for the event. Some travelled around the north, and they all met down where you are and went out to a good mate of ours and got together and celebrated and thoroughly enjoyed the live stream of presenting the Garage 16 trophies to our third, second, and first place getter. It was awesome, actually, and just to see some of that footage. But, 10 years, mate, 10 years, it's been a little while coming. COVID interrupted some of that, and unfortunately, I couldn't make it because I had the Rona. I was at home singing away at my house going, my Sharona. But other than that, glad to see everyone had a good time, mate.
Oh, mate, yeah, it was. And the old Speedway season, I think it's done and dusted everywhere now, isn't it, Kins? I think that's it. It's going to be a short off season for some of these people, though, which is a shame. Hey, but also, I'd just like to quickly say, New Zealand Dirt Track Racing magazine has changed their look. They put a post up before saying about their look. It's going to go to an A4 style magazine. We got a sneak preview. So I'll show the people out there. This is what it looks like. It's an A4 mag. It's awesome. I think it's way better than what we had before. And it's in the middle, it's got like a poster in it. So those of us that do remember collecting old street machine mags and hot rod mags back in the day and all the rest of it, and you used to take out that centerpiece that was a poster and stick it on your wall. Well, the kids can do that again. So that's freaking awesome. So, hey, that is, let me just double check some things here. I want to get this right. I don't want to sound like an idiot and get it wrong for all you guys watching, but that will be on sale online from tomorrow. And it's in stores on Monday. So listen, get in amongst this New Zealand new one. The new Aaron and Vince have done an amazing job of it. It looks grouse with the A4 as opposed to the other one. You get a poster for the kids in the middle. How can you beat it, mate? How can you beat it? And it's just a great magazine.
And there is only one way you can beat it. And how do you do that? If you go to the Cockpit Racing and Media Facebook page, you will see a link there. There is information how you can beat that to get a 12-month subscription.
Absolutely, yeah. Go into the draw. Get amongst it. It's and you could be a winner.
Yeah, and talking of that too, we're going to give you a chance to win a Bexs t-shirt as well. So
yes.
that's throughout the show tonight. So without any further ado, I think we better bring in our guest.
Absolutely. I'm going to leave you for a minute, and I'm going to bring Bexs in. That's who the people have come to see. The fans have come to see. So let me see if I can actually do this right this time.
All right, mate. You're going to do what you're going to do. Bexs Braybrook, hey, thanks for watching. James Prophet, awesome to have you on board. Dave Thomas, thanks for the wonderful comment. You are right. She is a machine. She's just wicked, and she's our special guest who joined us, Rebecca Barr. Hey, Bexs, how are you?
Hey, good, yourself?
Yeah, I'm good, thanks. Thank you, firstly, for coming to join us on our Cockpit Media Show. I know we caught up a little while back as part of the team's build-up, yourself and Dan representing the Mustangs, so I do appreciate your time. I know you with friends and that, just had dinner and your dog's running around there somewhere, but just thank you. Thank you for coming to join us, eh?
No, not a problem. Thanks for having me.
That's cool. I'm going to get this question out there because we talked about this off air as well. Aside from the stock car, the 134p and the 34p Superstock, any other class you would have loved to have a go at? Let's get that all done and dusted before everyone bombarded with the question.
Probably sprint car or maybe super saloons, eh? I definitely kind of like the contact side, but I've had a little drive in a sprint car and that was pretty cool, but it'd definitely be a different experience, like out there racing against a few cars. That's for sure.
You love the speed and maybe a super saloon, eh?
Yeah, maybe just something different. It'd just be cool to have a go and see what it's all about.
Yeah. So let's talk about your racing, stock cars and everything. How did you get involved? Obviously through your dad and everything, but just grew up as one of those kids running around there, chasing after hot dogs and everything like that and enjoying the family, eh?
Yeah, pretty much. Just following Dad around and in the shed every week, helping him out. And yeah, once I turned 12, I couldn't really wait to get a mini stock, really. So went and bought one, and now I've been stuck in it, and I'm 25 now. So yeah.
Wow, wicked. And you're actually, we're going to talk about the mini stock class because it's a class that's being well introduced to Speedway. And when you take a look at the top class end of the drivers, a younger age that's coming through, that mini stock class has just been amazing.
Yeah, 100%. The future of the sport's definitely coming through from the mini stocks, like all the big names in super stocks now, the Levines, the Myers, the Reesers, like everyone has pretty much raced mini stocks at some stage in their life, and now they're, top super stock car drivers, really.
Yeah, I suppose, you get a chance to race it, like you say, 12-year-old, get out there on the track, do the oval stuff and everything, but you get the awareness of vehicles around you as such prior to actually getting onto a real road and getting a proper road license, so you get these few years under your belt before you start venturing that way. And mini stocks, how'd you go in the mini stocks?
Oh, I didn't go too bad.
Yeah.
I went all right. It was kind of just, I learned to... I learned to drive sort of thing. Never probably had the best car, but just gave it my best for what I had, and I learned how to drive, and then, like I say, it helped me on the road, helped me moving forward into super stocks and eventually stock cars as well. So yeah, definitely
awesome.
Feeder class of the sport.
Well, obviously, you watched your dad race for years, followed dad around. It's in the blood, obviously, as a lot of people would say. You got some good fond memories of following dad around and some of the achievements dad's done, over the years. You got some good times there, obviously.
Yeah, definitely, like 3 times 3 NZ and plenty of North Island champs and wins and podiums. Like, he was definitely a legend of the sport, and he won a lot and was definitely an inspiration to me, that's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. Hey, I had a quick question too from another Bexs who's watching. Thanks for jumping in here, Bexs. Bexs Braybrook. How do you like driving super stock and stock cars? And is there any difference in the drive?
Yeah, they're definitely both very different. Just driving the stock car definitely helps me, I think, be a better driver, smoother driver in the super stock. But it's definitely different driving them. I've done stuff in my super stock and then I got out there and tried to do the same move in my stock car, and it's like, I didn't pull that off because it didn't work out for me, sort of thing.
She obviously is staying with mate Ben Kemsley's got, how often do you go out for dinner and need to use a phone charger?
Smooth and consistent in the stock car,
if you can hear me,
right? Racing my super stock.
Yeah, yeah. No, that's right. I can hear the dog barking around there and jumping around. Oh, there he goes. Is there a
Yeah.
cat around, is he?
Oh, my mate's got a dog as well, and he's locked up because he's a bit boisterous, so he's not happy about it.
Hey, Warren Fraser asked a good question here as well, Biggs, based on similar to what I asked you before. Hey, Scott Honeybone, good to have you back, mate. Keep the questions coming, everyone. Do you prefer to race stock car or super stock? Warren Fraser asking that already.
Ooh, that's definitely a tough one. They've
Yeah,
both
well,
got their pros and cons, really.
yeah, yeah. We'll
I,
come
I
back to
don't
the.
think
Well,
I could pick one.
yeah, we'll come back to maybe get a bit of an answer on that one there, Warren, but thanks for the question. And yeah, that is a good read, Bex. And, that magazine that Craig Booker showed earlier on. Hey, everyone, go to the Cockpit Racing and Media Facebook page. You'll see information on what you can do to, of course, receive and win a 12-month subscription. Heaps of people, heaps of fans rolled on in with the questions. Just keep those questions coming on through. So Bex Barr's joined us, got into the mini stocks at 12. Did you ever do mini stocks in Paradise in Rotorua?
Yeah, I did once, I think. Yeah.
Yeah.
So I got pretty close to qualifying for the top group, but got relegated a couple of spots, so I just missed out.
Yeah. Oh, he has some close ones, but at least you're out there doing it, giving it a go. From that mini stock, what did you jump straight into after that?
I went straight into the Superstock.
There goes the dogs.
Yeah, went to the Superstock from there, and obviously to start off, I was just sharing a car with Dad, so I was doing a lot of Sunday meetings in Wanganui for my first season, sort of thing, just sharing a car with him, and then he built a new car for himself, and then I got the old one, so that meant I could sort of move into a bit more.
Just give me a thumbs up if you can hear me, Kins.
So yeah, thanks to Palmerston North Speedway really, because at the time it was kind of half the track car, so I got to share it with the Poms for the World 240s and the team champs, which was pretty cool because I got to meet some pretty cool people.
Yeah.
Over the time, so yeah, but they definitely helped me get into my Superstock racing career, really.
Cool is. And tell us a bit about the actual car you race. Is it still the same car you're racing today, or what's going on there?
Nah, so I think I'm on my third Superstock now. So at the moment, I'm racing the latest car that Dad built for himself. So yeah, everything gets built in house really for
Wow.
us. Dad builds pretty much everything: the chassis, the front axles, the seats. Everything really he does himself. So
Wow. Wow.
The parts from the suppliers, but yeah, everything's pretty much built in house, and he's pretty much the brains behind all the
He's it, eh?
technical stuff, really.
How lucky are you, though, to have your dad, the maestro himself, when you think the multiple 3NZ he's had and the success he's done in his racing career as well, building your car, doing alongside with yourself and the crew and everyone doing the work on it. Man, you must be just living the life.
Yeah, it's I definitely don't know how I could do it without him. He's the brains. I can go back to him with other cars doing this, cars doing that, but he's the one at the end of the day that knows what to change to make it better suited. I haven't quite wrapped my head around the whole setup side of things, but he's happy doing that, so I just let him be.
Yeah, that's the main thing. Look, and that just shows the investment that families have into many motorsport drivers that I've interviewed on this Cockpit Media show over the time. Family is so important.
Yeah, we definitely do it all as a family, with Mum racing the mini stocks and me racing both cars, and my sisters always come along and my niece. So yeah, we enjoy doing it together, and my auntie and uncle too. So yeah, it's cool.
Awesome. Has your sisters ever jumped in and had a bit of a spin, done any laps?
My younger sister tried mini stocks for a season or two, but she didn't quite like the work of washing it and repairing it. So that novelty wore off pretty quick.
Yeah. So you get down in there on a Sunday or whenever the day is after racing and do what you got to do, and it's just part of what you had to do, eh?
Yeah, I pretty much try to do as much as I can.
Yeah.
So I normally wash and help maintain the cars to an extent, but Dad's kind of pretty much retired these days, so he kind of ticks away most days. But yeah, I like to get in and help him out because I think a good race car driver isn't just a driver; it's someone that
Yeah.
knows their car as well inside out. So I definitely like to know what's going
Awesome.
on.
You're not afraid to get your hands dirty, mate. You know, you just want to get in there, do everything you can, and help Dad out as well. Because sounds like Dad's been a big part of your life, like you have been following Dad, and it's a family thing. It just shows the importance of the family love it. They enjoy it. They soon dig in the hard yards and get in there. Look, off the top of your head, you want to just ramble off a couple of your sponsors who help get you around the circuit and travel up and down the country. You got just a handful of sponsors that you can remember. I know we're going to miss one here. But you just got a couple there you want to do a shout out to?
Yeah, I've got Nigel Scown from Hilltop Contracting, so it's one of our good friends that helps me out. Also, Carl Newport from South Taranaki Panel and Paint that keeps the car painted. I think I've been through 3 wings this season, so he's looked after me there, getting it all the paint side tidied up for me. 53 Productions, cameras, Easy Steel sponsor me steel. CSL Race Engines, Brendan and the team from there have been awesome to me, looking after both my Superstock and stock car engines, and they're both top of the line. That's for sure. The Cobb, XR Refrigeration, my mate Dylan Eads from Eads Contracting, and Mum and Dad, I suppose, can't forget them.
You know, do you feel the pressure and being a female top end of the driving class, you know, when you take a look, and I'm just talking about the super stocks for now, with the recent second at 248s, how you've been going over the weekend and how the season's gone for you. Do you feel pressure?
I wouldn't say pressure. I'm hard on myself. I want to do good and I want to win championships, but it's very tough these days. Every year it's getting harder and harder. The competition, or the amount of good cars is just crazy at the moment in Superstocks. So to actually win those titles or podium on those titles, it's a pretty big thing, because there's 100 other drivers that could have done it, really.
Yeah.
So to be able to get there, it's pretty cool.
Yeah, exactly. And it's a tough thing, especially when you come to some of the big NZ champs, whatever that may be, whether it's in your case, maybe North Island's Grand Prix NZ or anything like that. It's just a whole blanket of drivers, like we made mention at the start there, the class and caliber of young ones that are coming through at the mini stock ranks, you know. Just unbelievable. Steve Keeling has asked a good question. Did you race anything before Speedway?
Nah. I just was straight into Speedway, so didn't do
Straight
any
into it.
go-karts or anything like that.
Ben's got a good question here, Ben. You might know this one. How often do you go out for dinner and need to use your phone charger? No, just joking.
Just tonight.
Just tonight, eh? Oh, wicked.
Yeah.
All right. Hey, so I'm guessing to watching you on the live stream last week and wrap it up with a double header there in Palmerston. Is that the season done for you for racing this season? That's it?
Yeah, no, we're done now. Definitely looking forward to a well-earned off-season, even though COVID kind of cut it short.
Yeah.
We still wrapped up probably 10 meetings in the stock car and 15 in the super, so that's definitely enough to keep us pretty busy.
Yeah, let's get into this because, you know, what is it, June? And it only finished last weekend, Queen's birthday weekend. Yeah, COVID stuffed everything up. What did you feel like they were racing throughout the month of the mid to end of April, looking at May, and then one weekend in June? Normally, in a normal speedway season, things would have wrapped up. What was that like, you know, getting ready? And as an example, starting racing at 3 o'clock or 4 o'clock in the afternoon, you're wrapping up for most of it racing wise by 7 o'clock, 8 o'clock at the latest, 7:30. It was bloody freezing. What was that all like, you know, in that different time scale?
It was definitely different. Like, it was a bit weird starting at 3 o'clock, but
Yeah.
in a way for us it was kind of nice, because we travel 2 hours from Hara to Palmerston, so leaving after the meeting, getting home at a reasonable hour was actually quite nice. Where sometimes we'll be pulling in the driveway at 1, 2 o'clock in the morning.
Yeah.
So yeah, instead we're getting home at like 10, 11 o'clock at night, so it was quite nice. But yeah, it definitely was cold, which actually racing 2 cars I wasn't complaining, because normally I'm overheating. So the chill was quite good. I think we were quite lucky, because I don't think it's as cold at the moment as what it probably has been at this time of the year previously. So but yeah, it was nice for a one off, but I don't think I would want to be racing this late into the year every year.
Yeah. Yeah. A lot of people seem to have said their comment up and down the country. What about starting slightly earlier compared to the traditional start times? Maybe whether it's a 5 or 6 o'clock. How do you think that could work?
Yeah, I definitely don't mind. It's just maybe in the summer the sun strike's a bit of a pain, but you kind of get that anyway with daylight savings, so it doesn't really make much difference.
Yeah, no, that's all good. No, there's been a lot of chat around that of the recent season, and it's just one of those seasons that threw a spanner in the works. And I guess if you take it right back, you should be lucky that we got to have a race season because, like you say, there was this weird COVID going around, number of restrictions, threw a massive spanner in the works and a lot of speedway events, and not only just speedway events, in a lot of events up and down the country. But I suppose we're thankful. Got to see you all race, all classes of speedway. Uh, Danny Lamar's Martin. Yeah, you do amazing, Bex. So there's some good comments coming in.
Thank you.
Julia Bolter, what's your favorite track to race on from Julia?
Probably Rotorua. Quite a big fan of Rotorua.
Everyone says that.
Yeah, it's standing. Sonia do an awesome job up there, and it's always nice to go up there for something different. It's not a track that I get to all the time, but always look forward to the World 240s and the charity event next year would be pretty cool to do a couple of meetings up there. But I'd like to kind of get back down to Wellington at some stage next season as well because I quite like that track for the few times that I've been there. So it'd be nice to get back over there, down there.
You ever race down South Island?
I've done a couple of meetings in Christchurch and Nelson, so yeah, I'd definitely like to get into the Battle of the Stocks next year. And get down to Christchurch and race, but obviously it's I've been on the waiting list for a few years, so hopefully next year maybe.
Yeah, we'll see how things go. And talking off season, what happens in the off season? I'm guessing you're rather busy with your work life now and everything like that. Before you know it, it's only like under 20 weeks now until the race season starts in Palmerston. I think it's in October, obviously. I suppose you'll be focused on work and getting things ready for the upcoming season.
Yeah, for my job, I'm normally real busy at this time of year with the Frontier shutdown, so that keeps me pretty busy. And then we've started converting another speedway bus that will carry both my stock car and my Superstock. So we need to get that finished this off season to make it a lot easier for us next year. And I want to do a new roll cage on the stock car and give that a bit of a tidy up because it got a bit of a bashing at the last meeting. So there's plenty to do, that's for sure.
Yeah, let's talk stock cars too, because it's good to see a lot of female drivers competing in the class, especially in one of the big events that's always on at the 240s in Paradise Valley there, so everything's all go. It's just good to see a lot of ladies coming through in the stock car class, and I know they give it to you, and you give it back as well, because I think, well, Bexs Barr's in there, everyone's just about racing for who's going to come second or third when you seem to join the race. But, you give as good as you can, and you just go for it. You tussle about on the track there. Like you say, Vegas, you can't hide on the track, but it's a hell of a big meeting that weekend.
Yeah, it's definitely a good meeting, and every year it's getting better and better. The quality of drivers is getting better and better, so it's cool to see. And this year was the first year that probably I've copped a fair bit of attention, but hey, that's all right. It's stock cars, and I don't mind. I've won it a couple of times now, so I'm not really too phased. So it's good to see other people on the podium, really. So that's what it's all about.
And amongst the female drivers, your competitors out there in that particular class, is there anyone that really stands out to you that's your closest rival or anything? Or is it basically everyone that's on the track is always going to be the rival? Because like you just said, anything could happen on the corner. You could get spun out, taken to a wall just like that.
Yeah, I probably couldn't pick out anyone individually. There's quite a lot now. There's 10 or 15 girls that can stick it with me, and that's really cool to see, actually. I enjoy racing with them, and yeah, like each year I said, it's getting better and better. So whether we'll see me at that event next year or not, time will tell.
Yeah, see what happens. Simon Matthewson, yeah, we asked it right at the start, mate, because we knew the question would come. And you're right, she did mention sprint cars. She'd love to have a go to sprint car. Quickly mentioned also Super Saloon, but yeah, would love to have a go at a sprint car and see what happens, see how things would happen in the future. We'll see how it goes because you're still only young in your 20s. Dirt Nut Bexs, are you a staunch P or would you jump the fence to another letter? another track?
Now I'm definitely a pretty staunch PA. I get pretty well looked after, and I enjoy racing out of Palmerston North, and Park and Bruce have been really good to me over the years. So um, I'll definitely be sticking around at the P for a while longer. That's for sure.
Yeah, so there you go. That answers that one pretty well out straight away there. And what about with teams racing as well? Any other leader
Um,
in teams, if you were asked, you've mentioned you stick with the P and everything, but if there was a team's opportunity,
I'll definitely probably stick with Palmy. I'm always
okay,
gonna be. I'm sure there's always going to be a place with me for me in the Metal Two Mustangs. So hopefully one day I'll get to race for the Palmerston North Panthers. But yeah, not going to say never, but yeah, definitely stick to the P for now.
mm. Good on you. Good on you. And it's good to see people having a bit of loyalty these days. And I remember Craig Booker asking a question to a couple of drivers that we spoke with around this whole track code thing and everything like this. And looking after the letter that you race for these days. Thomas Jr. Hurunui, what do you do for mahi, Bex? What do you do for a job outside of Speedway? And what else do you get up to? So first one from Thomas, what do you do for work?
I'm a refrigeration engineer, so I work for XL Refrigeration, and I do like industrial refrigeration for Fonterra, the Meatworks, Teagle, places like that.
Yep. And aside from Speedway, what else do you get up to?
Bought a boat this year, so been getting out doing a bit of biscuiting, skiing, snow, wakeboarding, stuff like that. That's been cool. Something to
Awesome.
definitely with the COVID break, it's been good because get out there. The lake, there's no service, so it's nice to get away for the weekend. Don't have to talk to anyone.
Cool, awesome. Hey, don't get to also,
Yeah.
Bex has gladly given us a t-shirt, 2XL if I remember rightly. Just keep those comments in and we'll be drawing a lucky winner to win one of her t-shirts as well. So keep those questions coming in. Don't forget to go to Cockpit Racing and Media Facebook page. On there you will see a link what you have to do if you want to win the 12-month subscription thanks to the team at Garage 16 and NZ Dirt Track as well. And Craig Booker earlier on showed you a bit of what you could look to. I think it gets released tomorrow, should be in store. So it's a grouse looking magazine. It's even got a poster inside. Brings back some good times and good memories. Shane and Karen Taylor, what is the plan for the Superstock and stock car in the off season? I know you said you're going to do a bit of work on the roll cage and everything. Give it a bit of a refresh.
Yes, the stock car just got some. Want to change the roll cage to suit me a little bit. It's made for a bit of a smaller driver, and I can't see too much what's coming up behind me. And obviously, I kind of like the team's racing and stuff like that. So I like to see what's going on behind me. So hopefully, putting a new roll cage on that will make it easier for me to block in. Thinking about Dad wants to build a new diff just to try and develop his own ideas into the stock car. And yeah, the Superstock hopefully doesn't need too much, but no doubt Dad will have something that he will want to do because he likes tinkering, that's for sure.
Does Dad get quite experimental with it all? Because he's had many years of racing and he's got the knowledge around it. Does he like to experiment with different things every time?
Yep, 100%. I
Yeah.
can't keep up with all his experiments, and sometimes I really don't know what works and what doesn't work because he gets a bit too excited and changes too many things at once. But generally 9 times out of 10, I think all his changes have been for the better.
Yeah. Oh, that's good. That's good to hear, when they do that type of stuff and get work into it. What's the worst track have you raced on? I know your dad's raced in the UK as well. We'll touch briefly on that. From Troy Rusco, what's the worst track you've driven on?
I don't know about worst track, but
Yeah.
my bogey track is definitely Stratford. I don't really
Yeah.
like it, and it's funny because it's the closest track to me. It's only 20 minutes from my place, and I drive 2 hours to race in Parliament. But just doesn't seem to be a track that I've really clicked with, and I don't go there very much. So that would probably answer that question, I'd say.
Yeah, pretty well answered straight away. Look, there are a lot of drivers, and I don't know what it is. You might be able to help me here. That live in around the vicinity where you live. They seem to be traveling to Palmerston to race, and like you said, there's just a track only just down the road.
I think when a lot of back in the day, Stratford didn't have the numbers
Okay.
as well, and Palmy did, and the good quality of racing was always in Palmy. So to be the best, I suppose you've got to race with the best all the time, and I think that's why everyone travelled, because they wanted to race with 25, 30 cars each week instead of 5 or 6 cars that Stratford had way back in the day. Like, yeah, they've got good numbers now, but to be fair, they don't need us to go back there now because they've got strong numbers.
Mm.
If anything, Palmy's probably dwelling off these days more than other tracks because of so many people leaving.
Yeah, exactly. Big Spray Brook asks, would you ever change the colour of your Superstock in stock car? Would you ever change the colour scheme?
Oh, I'm not too sure. I like my green. It's definitely my favourite
Yeah.
colour. I did change it once and it just didn't seem right, so I went back to the green.
Scott
But you never know.
Honeybone. Yeah, never know. We'll see what happens. Scott Honeybone. Hey, Bex, what are your thoughts on the new fuel injection rule that comes in as of September 1st? I see there's been a bit of a write-up and everyone's sharing that around. Your thoughts on that?
To be fair, I don't know too much about it. Me and Dad touched
Yeah.
about it yesterday, and I suppose there's still a bit of development that engine builders are going to have to do in the background. From what Dad was telling me, yeah, I think when you store your car and stuff like that, it should be a lot better, easier to start, etc. But again, it's just another cost for the class. And actually, since I haven't really been in the class until this year, and I have noticed that it's not as cheap as everyone puts it out to be.
Yeah.
To be at the top, you've got to spend quite a bit of money, so it's probably just another quite a big expense for people to go out and spend. And you'll get all the top guys go do it, but I'd say like all the low range guys that just enjoy going out there racing probably won't want to do it because of the cost. And unfortunately, all the carburetors and everything that everyone's got now are kind of in a way worth nothing. Why would someone buy it when you can go fuel injected? So
Yeah.
I guess that's the tough thing, is it makes things that aren't good parts that can't really be used for anything else kind of hard to get rid of.
Well, make sure I get down to the point of this as well, because next Wednesday we've got a guest who could tell you a bit about it. He builds race engines and also races as well. So looking forward to finding out his opinion on all of this fuel injection. So that's next Wednesday's guest. Teams Racing, look, there it is here. Manawatu Mustangs, eh? Mustangs. And how long have you been racing with the Mustangs now? And you debuted, I think it was, 2019 at the Palmy teams?
Yeah, I think this was my 4th year this year, so kind of only feels like yesterday that I was doing my first teams race, and now I'm a bit of I wouldn't say old, but yeah, been around for a while.
Well, you've got a bit more experience under your belt, I would guess is the right word to use. And when you think of it, when you were debuting back those years gone by for that particular event, and when I'll go back to that one, what was that like? Really, what was that like?
It was pretty cool. Like the whole build up of it was really unreal, and just the fans and the grand parade, everything. It was like a pretty unreal experience. It was pretty cool. Like, and the whole stadium packed. You never really see that at a speedway meeting. So to have the whole stadium packed out and everyone cheering, the atmosphere of it all was pretty cool. Really, it's definitely something to experience. That's for sure.
Yeah, well, you created history, and that's something that will never be taken away from you. You created history on one of the biggest speedway events, as a lot of people would say, on the speedway calendar, if not on the motorsport calendar, especially for speedway fans. And people have travelled from up and down the country to Palmy for that particular event. Everyone knows February tickets go on sale. Only give it 5 or 10 minutes, pretty well bloody all gone just about these days. No accommodation around anywhere. It's just a huge event that attracts so many people to come and watch every time in February.
Yes, it's definitely a one of a kind event, I suppose. Like, be nice to have the Palms back next year, I suppose, and just get it back to that Waitangi weekend, and in the summer, and get that full crowd, because we did have a few short spots this year, but I suppose it was definitely hard. And like I say, to get back to the square and have the atmosphere and the build up there, that's what makes Team Champs really the whole thing.
Yeah, we spoke before as we did a big build up to that actual event of the teams event. We spoke to the drivers from the teams that were representing. It was a good little show. Actually, we did it for about a week. Let's talk about the square in particular. We were talking off air, and we used guys that park the Mustangs in the square there on the main road there. You had no t-shirts left. Basically, you had all the fans, just randoms coming up wanting to buy t-shirts, merchandise. A good thing being there where you were based.
Yeah, it was an awesome place. You got the people coming in and out of the square, and
Yeah.
it attracted a lot of people that probably didn't follow teams champs, and had heaps of little kids walking past wanting to buy shirts and stuff like that. So it was cool. We definitely sold a lot of merch and had a lot of people interested at the cars and stuff like that. So it was a cool place to be. That's for sure.
Yeah, definitely. And you think, come February next year, 23, back at the square, eh?
Yeah, I reckon it's definitely a good idea. That's for sure.
Yeah. You get a lot of people there, eh? You get people walking in from maybe taking breaks from lunch because it's always happening just after lunchtime there. You get thousands turned up. And I do know that some drivers quite enjoyed being down at the track this team season because you're not double handling the cars as such. It was all down there, and that was different, I would guess, for you.
Yeah, we kind of still had to. Well, we drove got towed to the track, so it wasn't so bad. We only had to unload once, so it's cool. We definitely got to go back to the fans and the community and stuff like that. So I reckon it's definitely worth the time.
Yeah, it's the big show, all right. It's just an event, that draws thousands to, and I see somewhere too that the tickets will be on sale again at the end of this month. Man, that's come around real quick, mind you. Mari Goodley, hey Mari, again, thank you for the artwork from last week with the Dan Corrin interview. Appreciate that, mate. Hey Bex, what would be your piece of advice you would give to a youngster starting in the sport?
Um, just give it a go really, and make the most of it. Hard work pays off, and just have fun really. Like if you're not having fun and you're not enjoying it, then there's no point doing it as well.
Mm.
But there's plenty of drivers, myself, anyone else that if anyone wanted any advice or tips, just hit us up really.
Awesome, that's awesome. I'll tell you what impressed me last week was the mini stocks watching the live stream. Young Asher Penn, I think her name was, holding her own in that class, against a couple of boys out there and doing no different to what you do in your stock car and your super stock. It just looked bright, the future for young female drivers coming on through. That mini stock class is quite a good stepping stone, but the class of female drivers at that as well, it just looks good going forward.
Yeah, it looked awesome. I actually watched that race. Funny enough,
Yeah.
well, not much of a to watch the mini stocks. I'm always so busy, but I was up there, and I did watch that race. And to be fair, she was pretty hard done by. She should
Yeah,
have won it.
yeah,
Really,
yeah,
she was the fastest car, but unfortunately, traffic didn't play in her favour. But yeah, I thought she was going to win it. To be fair, she should have.
yeah.
But yeah, like I say, lap traffic unfortunately
I
didn't
was
help her.
gutted for her. I was like gutted. I was like, go. I was like, yeah, holding
Yeah,
her
yeah,
own
so was
because,
I.
yeah, I was gutted. Like right at the start there was a good bunch of 3, 4, 5 cars going for it. And I thought, man, all it takes is a little mistake there. And all it did in the end for her, unfortunately, was the lap traffic that they caught up to. And the other young guy, I think he was from Rotorua, actually, just seemed to
Mm.
get through and get on home. And yeah, the future does look bright when you see young ones coming on through in the mini stock class. We've spoken about this earlier on in the piece, and some of those young men and yourself, ladies driving these days, still up the top end of the scale. Who is your closest rival on the track? Let's get down to this. Who do you think are your closest rivals? I know it's a bit of a tough question, but anyone that you think of that's a real close rival to you every time you race. Let's firstly, in the Superstock.
Um, oh, I don't know, probably the Joblin boys.
Yep.
Had a lot to do with them over the years. Jack Myers, Scotty, all those kind of big players. Me and Daniel definitely have good banter between me and him racing the
Yeah.
Super and the stock out together, so that's cool. Yeah, there's so many these days. Like, yeah,
Everyone, I suppose, is a rival once you're out there. It's just a real tough one at the moment. Shane and Karen Taylor, yeah, she does appreciate this. Is a good comment, Shane and Karen. You keep your super stock and stock out looking immaculate. It's all credit to your team.
Yeah, 100%. I have some pretty good crew that keep the car looking good throughout the whole night, and during the week help out to keep them looking good. Got to keep the sponsor looking good for the sponsors and their day.
Yeah, exactly. And actually, Jack Purcell put a good comment here. Does a nicely painted wing make you go faster?
Oh, when it's painted the right color.
Oh,
He
this is
he was
terrible.
giving me a bit of shit the other week because my the paint got kind of muddled up, and I don't really know what happened. But anyway, it got painted the wrong green, but I didn't have time to change it, and the sign writer slapped the stickers on, so um, he was getting a bit annoyed because it was the wrong color, and he was giving me shit for it.
Yeah. Bloody old Seth, Seth, he
Yeah, yeah.
made his team's debut for all the wrong bloody reasons. He tried to beat Craig Boots' record high in the year, but not to be. Hey Seth, how you going, bro? How good is the bar chassis?
Oh, yeah, so good. Definitely, it's pretty cool to see Seth out there in one of the bar cars. He's definitely a good, person for the sport with all his videos and all his yarns and stuff like that. So it's pretty cool to see him in a bar car, really.
Yeah, he's been talking it up. And he's got a question here pertaining to me. If Reno was coming over to dinner, what is your go-to meal to cook for someone? So what do you cook for dinner there, Bex?
Me, oh, probably a roast or something. It's pretty simple and easy.
Yeah. Yeah, love a good roast, eh? Money wise,
Yeah.
it's comparison. Yeah, there's a lot of questions going on around and everything. Just keep these questions coming in, everyone, because we are going to select the question. Well, actually, Bex is going to do the tough one, and we'll select someone who's been putting a lot of questions around the show because we've got a t-shirt, one of our t-shirts. We're going to be giving you a chance to win. Don't forget to also head over to the Copper Racing and Media Facebook page. On there, you'll see information around how you could share everything on our page, and who knows, you go into a draw to win obviously a 12-month subscription to the NZ Dirt magazine. And it's an awesome mag, got a good poster in the front inside there, right smack in the middle. And who knows, if you're like myself and many other fans of Speedway, we get the posters, we collect the posters, and we seem to hang them up all over our rooms here, there, and everywhere, maybe in your man cave and everything like that. Let's talk fans. How huge are fans? All the fans that are there trackside watching you race, getting your merchandise. How cool are the fans?
The fans are awesome, eh? Like
Yeah,
I get a lot of um young girls and kids that want to come say hi because it's a
cool.
female racing, so that's pretty cool.
Yeah.
But yeah, definitely get a wide range of people come see me week to week. There's not a weekend that I won't get meet someone new.
Hmm.
So it's cool, and I always got lots of time for the fans really because it's just cool to interact with them. And once upon a time, I was one of those little fans going up to my
Yeah.
favourite Superstock drivers as well. So I definitely appreciated when they gave me the time of day. So I like to give
Yeah.
back to the sport. So
Awesome. Who was your favorite super stock driver or A grade driver back then when you were a kid?
I was definitely a big fan of the Joplin boys back in the day.
Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah,
Awesome. Yeah, Ricky Cody. We are pretty sure started your mini stock career. When did you start that? Was that 2012? No, you were 12, eh?
I was 12, so
Yeah.
yeah, that was oh, yeah, 13 years ago now. So
Yeah.
yeah, they can do the mess.
Yeah, they can do the mess. Craig Chatfield. Hey, Rebecca Star. Craig's online watching as well. Steve Mann, Bex, what is it like when you roll someone else?
Um, it's definitely like a cool feeling. Definitely when it's at Teams Champs because it's like
Yeah.
that's what it's all about, and there's no hard feelings at Teams Champs because Teams Champs is Teams Champs. You got to do what you got to do. Don't think I've ever really rolled anyone outside
Mm,
of Teams Champs yet. Not on purpose, anyway. So
yeah. You ever been
yeah,
rolled yourself?
yeah. I haven't been right over yet, but I've been on my side quite a
Yeah.
number of 3 or 4 times now, but not quite right over yet.
You know what you've got there. You just keep going attitude, eh? I watched your race with the Mustangs and everything, and guys are giving you a good shot, put you in the wall, but you just seem to put it in the gear and just keep going and going. You just never give up.
Nah, you just got to keep going, and probably my cars always seem to be pretty reliable, and I suppose that's from the hard work that me and Dad spend hours in the shed. So I'd say I'm probably the weakest link of my stock car, my Superstock, and I haven't had any injuries yet that have been too bad.
Mm,
So yeah,
mm.
very lucky.
Well, I mentioned Dad quite a bit throughout this, and Dad's pretty well a key component to everything that happens with your car. He's always playing around with something, experimenting. Dad, I don't know if I asked you this earlier on in the show, though. Has he hung up the steering wheel or the helmet? What's going on there? Or is he thinking about maybe jumping in there, doing a race here, there?
I think he's done, but I definitely think he was quite keen to have a nudge at the over 40s one
Mhm.
stage 1 year. So I think when he gets his health a little bit better, then he'll be into that. That's for sure. Whether
Awesome.
he'll be able to cope on a general Superstock meeting, I don't know. Might be
Yeah.
too much for him.
Yeah, and Mum's out there. Saw her on the track in the weekend in the adult mini stop.
Yeah, watch out. She's a rough one. Accidentally rolled someone in the
Yeah,
weekend.
she didn't even
That
know,
was
eh?
quite a good luck for all of us.
Yeah, yeah, no, it was quite funny actually to see all that type of stuff. Someone's going to ask this question, so I'll get it in there. Your teams, you made your debut a few years back. Can you remember some of the biggest hits you've had put on you in teams racing?
I'd have to say my biggest teams racing hit would be in Huntley at the teams invasion probably a couple of
Oh,
years
yeah,
ago. I think Carl Shearer picked me up at the end of the straight, and I just didn't miss time getting around the corner, and yeah, he picked me up and I went in backwards, and yeah, that was pretty big. Um, and probably yeah, Mitch Vickery's probably had a few good hits at me
yeah,
at my first team champs when I got left. Was the last one standing against Stratford a few back in my first team champs. Um, other than that, I've been probably pretty lucky, really.
yeah. Awesome. Hey, and obviously the season coming up, you'll be getting yourself ready. However long that will take, and see what happens there as you build up for, well, maybe doing a bit of wakeboarding in the off season. Now you got a boat. Just get ready and see what happens in the off season.
Yeah, just nice to relax for a couple of months when I can, when I'm not busy working, and
Mm,
get some work done on the car. And then, yeah, before we know it, we'll be back into it.
mm. So Wayne Brunton's asked a good question here. How do you get yourself in full race mode before a race? Do you have a go-to song, as an example, or do you just switch into race mode when you put the helmet on? What goes through your mind?
Um, no, not one for the songs. Just kind of yeah, put the helmet on and get in my own little zone and get straight into it. Really,
Yeah.
not much. I try not to overthink it these days. Just get in and
Mm.
get the job done.
And any lucky socks, shirts, or anything like that?
Nah, not really.
Cool.
Nah.
Mark Crocott, actually, a good little question here. I was thinking about asking us when we were talking about teams events, especially Bex. Do you think the guys are soft on you sometimes when they're racing with the hits because you're a female or not?
I don't think so.
There you
I
go.
think they just treat me as one of the guys these days. So I don't think anyone goes easy on me. That's for sure. I
Yeah.
definitely don't feel it.
Ah, good on you. Um, Mum's in the adult mini stock. Will you ever eventually race one of those adult mini
Probably not.
stock?
I'll leave that to her. I think I've moved on from the mini stock classes. I'm racing super stocks and stock cars now. I don't need to go back to that class. That kind of annoys me. Seeing all these ones in stock cars and supers get back in adult mini stocks for the champs. Like let the the people that have been racing for the adult mini stocks all season fight out for the title. I don't need to go back and be a part
Awesome.
of that. It's their
Awesome.
title.
Yeah, yeah. Melissa Shaw, do you get nervous when you're lighting up on the dummy grid?
I'm not too bad. I think I get a little bit of nerves when the flag drops. It's all gone.
Yeah,
Um, yeah, just straight into it. Really, I guess you forget about it.
yeah. No, you hold your own. You hold your own. Yeah, track code stuff. I know Craig Booker asked this question a couple of weeks back to a couple of the Buster boys around their track codes and everything like that. It seemed to, I think you might be floating around. If you can pop in, I can't quite remember how it went. How did it go, Books? The track code thing? He's muted, eh? He's accidentally muted.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I can't hear him.
I can't hear him. He'll push a button. He'll push a button. He won't be sick.
There we go. Now we're right, eh?
Yeah, we're right, mate.
Okay,
Ask
so
your
what I
question.
was saying is track code or mates. Like a lot of people say, we're on the track and we have a beer afterwards, but when it comes to a championship and you got a mate coming out of town and they could win your track championship, is it track code first or mates? How do you feel about it?
Oh, probably track code.
Yeah,
I
good
try
one.
to be loyal. I don't like to see palmy cars taking out palmy cars at championships. And I've definitely got a few good mates. Yeah, I try to stay out of all the drama.
Yeah, yeah. Well,
it's stuff.
It's like I've said before, you know, we all talk about it and everybody comes on here and says, you know, you go out, you have a few hits and whacks and you go back and you're all having a beer afterwards. So that it shouldn't matter if you're out of town and you're still a mate. I think, you know, I'm a big fan of the old days. Like track code was first. No one came to someone else's track and won a championship, you know? So
yeah, 100%. I definitely am on the same thing of what happens on track stays on track,
Yep.
and all go have a beer at the end of the night. That's how it should be, really.
Yep.
No grudges held. If they want to take me out, that's fine, but it's all swings and roundabouts, so
Yep.
Yeah.
it'll come back to get them one day. So
Yeah. Exactly. What
Yeah.
goes out will come back as well. Ricky, yes, you mentioned
I'm going to run away again now.
sprint car. All right, mate, you go and finish your dinner. Thanks for popping in there, sneaking in. Then, yeah, Ricky, sprint cars. We asked right at the start. Again, that question always pops up. You know, consider racing any other classes. Actually, I'm going to ask you this question too. I've been wanting to ask many speedway drivers. Let's move away from the dirt oval circuit as such, and if there was something else that you wanted to drive away from the speedway of another class, is there anything you can think of you may want to have a go at, you know, on the tarmac, the asphalt? A couple of guys have asked, they said, oh, they wouldn't mind having to go at off-road type of stuff, the 4x4 rallying stuff, drifting's been one of them. Anything that's, you know, you thought, oh, I'd love to have a go at that one day aside from the speedway, just to get away from the speedway.
I'd love to have a go on those like trophy trucks, the off-road
Okay.
ones.
Yeah.
Yeah, that'd be pretty cool. Yeah, I've watched a little bit of online and stuff like that, and always seen a bit of it, and I'd definitely be down to have a go on something like that. That'd be cool.
Yeah. You still got a bit of argy-bargy out there on the circuit, eh? You're turning left and right, you know, so you
Yeah,
still give a little
exactly.
bump
It'd be
here and
definitely
there.
cool for something different.
Yeah.
Even though
Yeah.
it's
No.
kind of still dirt track racing, but it's a different whole style of racing, I'd imagine. Jumps and stuff like that.
Yeah. Yeah, it brings a different dynamics to it as well. You're right, Jason. Yeah, maybe V8 supercars. Everyone's thinking about that. Tracy Vincent. Yeah, what about a supercar? Everyone's thinking a V8
I'd love
supercar.
to go with supercar.
Yeah, everyone would love to have a go at a supercar. And look, and we're trying to catch up with a couple of drivers in the next few weeks with interviews around that. So just keep an eye on the Cockpit Racing and Media Facebook page. We'll keep you updated on that, especially with a couple of big events coming up. So there are more guests we're just waiting to hear confirmation on around talking to them when it comes to V8 supercars as well. So just keep an eye. We'll keep you updated on that. Don't forget to Bexs. We're going to give you a chance to win a T-shirt to excel. She's gladly given us one of those, and we'll be taking a lucky winner from the comments. Don't forget to the Facebook pages I mentioned. Go on there and check out. Thanks to the team at Garage 16, the subscription for 12 months. Go and do what you got to do if you want to win 12 months worth of this awesome magazine, the NZ Dirt Track. Hey, let's talk Dad, because Dad, someone put in the comment here a little while back, Dad's did a bit of racing in the UK. Do you think you'd love to get over there and do some of that sometime, you know, on the tarmac or the shale?
Yeah, I went last time we went back. It'll be 7 years ago now.
Yeah.
He went and I went as well, and I got to do the V8 Hot Stock World Final on the tarmac.
Oh wow.
So that was pretty cool, and I'd definitely love to get back over there and get in the F1 stock cars and give that a go at some stage. So
Yeah.
hopefully in the next few years I can get back over there and have a nudge at that. I'll definitely be keen as, and I've got lots of friends over there from back when the Poms were racing my car in the Superstock teams. So I've got lots of friends and people that owe me a few drives and will hook me
Awesome.
up. So yeah, it'd be cool to get back over there once all this COVID stuff blows over.
Yeah. Well, that's cool. That's good news to hear. That's great news to hear. Tracy Vincent in open wheel drive would like to see you race a super stock lol. Yeah, no, it's good fun, and it's good to hear you share some of these different comments around the racing as well. Adrian Kilpatrick, any advice to new drivers? Any advice to new drivers joining the super stock class? Look, when we talked about their mini stock race that happened in Palmy, a lot of those drivers are obviously out of that age bracket, and we'll be looking at developing their skills and going into another class. Do you have any advice, or maybe some of those young ones from that mini stock class who may want to look at joining the Superstock ranks?
Just yeah, buy a good car. Unfortunately, these days to be at the pointy end, you've got to have good gear. Um, but like I said, the stock car is not much of a cheaper option these days.
Yeah.
Um, but yeah, it's definitely having that support in the background to help you out and crew and the family and everything. It makes a big difference. Really,
Mm.
it can be quite tough. Um, coming into the super stock class if you don't know too much about it.
Yeah.
But there's definitely plenty of people willing out there to help people out and point them in the
Mm.
right direction.
We mentioned that a bit in the show as well. And, some drivers, like yourself in particular, have had the opportunity to race alongside in Superstock class with their dads. There's so many families who've been able to do this, sons and against dads. And if I use the Rees as an example, the Myers as an example, the list just goes on. And you're a fortunate one to be racing with dad. Were you always competitive with dad? Did you always want to beat dad on the track?
Yeah, we always had good banter, that's for sure. I think one night I gave him a bit of a nudge and a tickle up the wall, and he wasn't very impressed with me. There was a few swear words flying around towards my direction after that race, but
Yeah.
I just said to him that it's super stock racing, Dad, and they're made to hit. So if you don't want to get hit, get out of my way.
I love it. Oh, I love it. I love
So
it.
you could just imagine how that went down. It didn't go
Yeah.
down very well. I was probably lucky I still had a super stock at the end of the night.
Good on you. Hey, Pete Wilson pretty well runs into what I'm going to ask you from Pete Wilson. If you were in a runoff, who would you want it to be against?
Oh, I don't know. There's probably more people I wouldn't want it to be against than I would want it to be against. Yeah, I've had a few runoffs over my time, and they've gone 50-50. So, yeah, I don't know. I definitely wouldn't want to be facing the Ethan Rees.
Yeah.
He's a bit of a menace, really.
Yeah, doesn't hold back, eh?
Nah,
Doesn't
that's for
hold
sure.
back.
He's
No.
top of the line driver.
Yeah. Yeah, but actually, now you said the name Rees. Have you ever had a pedal in a Rees chassis? Would you ever want to?
Yeah, I pedalled Ethan and Pete's stock cars when I borrowed them for the under 23s back in the day.
Oh, okay.
So I think I borrowed his car for 2 or 3 years off Pete, and yeah, he was so good. Pretty much went down there, picked the car up. He let me have it for a week. I spent a week working on it, getting it ready, and raced it and give it back to him. And yeah, he was always real good to me when it came to that sort of thing.
Yeah.
Not many people kind of let you take their car and bring it back next week sort of thing. But Pete was pretty good.
Yeah, you're right. You're 100% right there. And it's the love and the heart they have, like many of the people we've interviewed when it comes to motorsports. I'm guessing you travelled up and down the country as well when you were younger with Dad at so many tracks. So you've been to nearly just about every track in the country from memory with Dad all the time?
Yeah, I've been pretty much everywhere. I think the only place that I haven't really been to much is Big Bay Park, but definitely would like to try and get to a Superstock meeting there one day. That's for sure. It seems a pretty cool place to race, and need to get up there and give Seafro a bit of a rub up the wall.
Yeah. Hey, you got your Mustangs top on there, Bexs. Any idea when the Mustangs merch will be ready from Matt J?
Most of it's a lot of the adults' t-shirts and some of the hoodies have been done. We're still waiting on a lot of the kids' merch and some of the larger size hoodies, but we're hoping that in the next week that we should have most of it and get it out to everyone.
Awesome.
Just having over 1,000 orders, it
Wow.
was overwhelming the support that we had. So it's definitely been just
Wow.
taking a lot longer to process than we would have ever imagined. So bear with us, we're getting there.
Yeah. And I suppose Shane and Karen Taylor, what's your goals going forward in your racing career? You know, you've not achieved the one in Z. That's just a matter of time, I would guess, eventually. What's your goals? Do you have yourself some set goals?
I just want to keep moving forward and try and qualify for all the meetings that I do, and yeah, just go from there. Really, I'm having fun, and that's the main thing. Really, enjoying it, and
All right.
yeah, get the
It's
best
it's
out of it.
it's just gone 8:30, everyone. We're going to wrap the show up. Going to wrap it up in a way. Let's go back to the Palmy Team speaks. Just some final words around that event. Um, you're part of the team, obviously. We all know that. But instead of getting into detail stuff, just wrap it up there with some thoughts from you, Big Spa.
Yeah, team champs this year was definitely um something a bit of an unreal experience, really, and
Yeah.
I hope that it's one that no one else ever has to go through. But the Mustangs definitely pulled together as a team and supported each other throughout the difficult times that we had at Team
Yep.
Champs this year. So I think as a team it will grow us and make us stronger, and look forward to representing the Medal 2 Mustangs and going out there and doing Stephen proud next season, really, because that's all we can
Awesome.
do. And yeah, move forward onto next year, and it'll be cool to have Vanessa and Brooke and Kyla, Stephen's family, a part of the team next year, and yeah, get out there and do the job for them.
Awesome. Thank you, Bex. I know that was a tough way to wrap up the show, but I do appreciate you taking time out and Indy jumping in and out as well, making the show a bit of fun. But I wish you all the best for the upcoming season. Have some fun in the off season. I know you will. You're a superstar in your own right when you're out there on the track, and you deliver the goods week in and week out wherever you travel. You are one of those individuals who just give it 110% plus. You got a good family name in the Speedway world, and a lot of people are so proud of you with what you've done. Your crew, your family, and everyone that supports you, the fans. So I do appreciate you taking out some time to join us here at Cockpit Media. We will catch up again and keep in touch with all the other events that are coming up in the Speedway calendar for next season, but enjoy the off season. And once again, thank you very much.
Nah, thank you very much for having me, and thanks to everyone that tuned in tonight and asked all the awesome questions. Yeah, it was good.
Awesome. Well, we're just going to get Bex to pop out for a sec. We'll be back, and we'll have a lucky winner announced before the night is over, and with the lucky winner of that 2XL Bex Bar t-shirt. So there you go, ladies and gentlemen. Rebecca Barr and the families who've been watching, sharing a bit about her insight behind the scenes away from the driving world, but obviously as a young kid, grew up with her dad following around, gets in there, mucks around with it, gets her hands dirty, but also gets out there and entertains all the fans every time at a trackside. So do get behind her. She's on Facebook, all the details you need to know. And just one awesome lady who's doing it for the ladies in the Speedway world and excelling in that world as well. Just a great pleasure to talk to Rebecca Barr. So thank you, everyone. Craig Book is back with me. Books,
Hey,
thoroughly
mate.
enjoyed that.
Yeah, that was very good. She's a very, very talented young lady, isn't she, when it comes to driving those race cars? And very well spoken too, Kins. I think does a very nice interview for everybody. So yeah, we appreciate her time. I'll just have another quick word before we finish. Now, listen, people watching, if you're still tuned in with us, with just me and Kin sitting here, over the next few weeks, you might see some changes to the show. All for the best, I must admit. We've got some great stuff going forward. So keep tuned, watch our Facebook, jump in that competition to win the New Zealand Dirt Track magazine. There it is right there, look at that. Get that, go out and buy it and get that poster for your kids. They'll love it. Stick it on their wall, put lots of holes in the wall, lots of posters. That's what part of growing up is. Getting your kids' room and fill it up with posters. So get out there. That is, Aaron tells me. So he tells me that you can, I'm just going to get the right information. So it's online tomorrow. You can buy the magazine online, but that won't get to your poster. So Monday out at stores, get out there for this new mag. It looks fantastic, the A4 thing. I think it's way better this way, Kins, myself. I don't know what you think. I just think it brings me back to some of the magazines I collected back in the day, you know, all that. So get out there and get your mag and look at our page, scroll down a bit, and you'll see a way to enter to win a 12-month subscription for that magazine. So get amongst that as well.
Awesome, mate. Awesome. That's a wrap for tonight, ladies and gentlemen. Thank you once again for tuning in, everyone. It's been a good night. Thanks for the wonderful comments. We are back next week. As I made mention through the show, someone that knows a bit about engines, his thoughts on that as well.
Yep. Mr. We can save a name. He
Chad,
did confirm it for
Chad
us.
Ace.
So we'll have Chad Ace on next week.
Yep.
To come and talk to you everything Speedway. And motors as well. So there's a bit of talk about that stuff going on around at the moment. So I'm looking forward to that one, actually, Kins. I'm a mechanic, so you know it.
You're gonna pick every single little bit, and it seems to be the Ace engine seem to be quite a well-known engine these days in a lot of the ranks. So I'm quite looking forward to actually catching up with Chad. But everyone out there, take care. Thanks again for the views. Anything on the weekend, mate? You doing any streaming?
I think Sunday we're showcasing our stock cars this Sunday night, 8:30. So if you want to watch that, you'll see me probably get rolled. So that's something to look forward to. And,
come on.
We wish you all the best. Thanks for tuning in, guys. We wish you all safe travels if you're traveling anywhere next weekend or during the week. Have a great week, and we hope to see you Sunday, Kins.
All right. Wonderful. Take care and come back and join the Hootenanny on Sunday.
The Hootenanny on Sunday.
Take care, everyone. Thank you very much. Catch us later. Bye-bye.
G16 Sport, a new platform for Speedway fans. Hundreds of videos, the latest action on demand and free to view. Plus, the Speedway show, Dishing the Dirt. Check out the pay-per-view section for upcoming live streams. Browse Speedway merch and other awesome items in the online shop. Join G16 Nation. Scroll through your newsfeed, post photos and videos, join groups and connect with the Dirt community. Visit g16sport.co.nz today.